The rain hammered the cafe window like it wanted in. I was 18, legs shaking under the table, waiting for the man my father sold me to. Flash! His shadow fell across my coffee. "Miss Bai," he said, voice like velvet over steel. "I'm Zhou Shengin, 30, your future husband." Flash! I signed the contract in the dim light of his mansion. 3 rules scratched in my own blood. No meddling, no forced intimacy, no secrets about other lovers. Flash! A drawer I wasn't supposed to open. A photo of a woman, her eyes gouged out. A burner phone buzzing. She's digging. End it. Flash! I tore the rules to shreds. He smiled, pocketing the pieces. "Try to ruin me, Ching Mei. I dare you." Flash! A gunshot cracked the night. Someone screamed my name. Tonight, one of us disappears. The story begins. I never thought I'd miss the sound of my own heartbeat until it was the only thing louder than the silence in Zhou Shengin's mansion. The first time I saw him, I hated the way he looked at me, like he already knew every crack in my armor. I was late to our introduction because I'd spent an hour staring at my reflection, trying to make the girl in the mirror look less like a sacrifice. When he finally walked into the cafe, rain dripping from his coat, I snapped, "You don't look 30. He slid into the booth opposite me, unfazed. "Coffee? I don't drink what old men do." His mouth twitched. Amusement or warning, I couldn't tell. "You waited an hour. Not angry? Anger's a luxury I can't afford." I leaned in, voice low. "Let's be clear. I'm here because my father traded me like a bad stock. You're here because, why? Curiosity? Duty? Respect," he said. "For you. For this." He gestured between us, as if the space already belonged to something bigger. "Before we're engaged, I want you to know me. If you don't, walk away. Blind marriage, dumb marriage, your choice." I laughed, sharp and bitter. "You think I have a choice? You're the CEO, waiting on a teenager. I'm the girl who can't say no." His eyes darkened. "Then let's make a pact. 3 rules." I beat him to it. 1. Stay out of each other's work. 2. No bedroom obligations unless we both agree. 3. If you want someone else, tell me to my face. He didn't blink. Deal. I should have seen the trap then. The Zhou estate was a fortress of marble and secrets. My father's voice echoed as the gates closed behind me. 1 year. Learned to be his wife. My suitcase felt like a coffin. 3 months. That's how long it took for me to realize Shengin was a ghost in his own house. He left before I woke, returned after I pretended to sleep. No phone number, no notes, just a key card to a wing of the mansion I wasn't ready to explore. I told my best friend, Peony, over a crackling video call. He's discarded me like Dad did, an expired daughter for an old man's bed. Peony snorted. 30's not old. And girl, have you seen him? Those shoulders could carry sins. Sin doesn't keep you warm, I muttered, but she was right about one thing. He was beautiful. Cruelly so. The kind of face that made you forget your own name until he looked away. The first time he touched me, it wasn't in a bedroom. It was at a banquet. My feet, bleeding in heels my stepmother insisted were elegant. I was represented by a family, smiling at strangers who smelled like money and malice. Then I saw him across the room, watching me like I was the only real thing in a sea of masks. I slipped off the heels under the table. Bad move. A waiter tripped. Wine splashed my dress, and suddenly every eye was on me. Shengin was there in seconds, kneeling. "Slippets?" he asked, pulling a pair from his jacket like he'd planned it. "You carry slippers to galas?" "For you? Always." He slid them onto my feet, fingers brushing my ankles. The room blurred. For one stupid moment, I thought he cared. Later, in the car, I said, "That was a show for your image." He glanced over, city lights striping his face. "My image doesn't need your bleeding feet." I looked away, heart punching my ribs. "Don't fall. Don't you dare." The drawer was locked. Of course it was. I found it on a night he was working late. The mansion was too quiet, the kind of quiet that screams. I'd been wandering, restless, when my fingers brushed a panel in his study. It clicked open. Inside, a photo. A woman, maybe my age, smiling at the camera. Someone had taken a knife to her eyes. On the back, in Shungin's handwriting, she knew too much. My hand shook so hard the photo fluttered. Beneath it, a burner phone. One message, unread. Unknown. Qingmei's asking questions. Silence her, or I will. I dropped the phone like it burned. That night, I waited in the dark of his bedroom. When he came in, tie loose, exhaustion in his shoulders, I didn't move. You went through my things, he said. Not a question. You're hiding a body or a girlfriend. Which is it? He laughed, low and dangerous. Jealous already? Terrified. I corrected. Rule 3, Shungin. Tell me to my face. He stepped closer. Close enough I smelled his cologne and the lie beneath it. There's no one else. There never was. Then who's the girl in the photo? His face shuddered. Someone who broke the rules. I slapped him. The sound cracked like the gunshot in my nightmares. He caught my wrist, eyes blazing. You want the truth? It'll cost you. Everything already has. I whispered. The next morning, he was gone. Not just late, gone. Phone off. WeChat dead. His assistant voice tight. Mr. Zhou's on a personal trip. Indefinite. I tore the mansion apart. Found nothing but more locks. Then the package arrived. No return address. Inside, my torn-up contract, stitched back together with red thread, and a plane ticket to Tanzania. A note in his handwriting. Find me if you dare, or stay and rot in your cage. I went, not for love, for answers, for the girl with the scratched-out eyes. The Serengeti was endless, golden, merciless. I tracked him through dusty villages, bribe after bribe, until I found his camp at dusk. He was photographing wildebeest, camera steady, back to me. I raised the gun I'd bought in a market I'd never admit to. Turn around. He did, slow, no surprise. You brought a weapon to a love story? This isn't love. It's war. He set the camera down. Then shoot. End it. I hesitated. 1 second. That was enough. He lunged, disarming me in a blur. We hit the ground, dust in my mouth, his weight pinning me. The girl in the photo, he growled, was my sister. She found out our fathers arranged this marriage to cover a murder. Yours. My world tilted. You're lying. Check your father's safe. Code's your birthday. I wanted to scream, to claw his face. Instead, I kissed him. Hard, angry, desperate. When we broke apart, he said, Rule 3 still stands. But I'm breaking a new one. What's that? I love you, and I'll burn both our families to keep you. Back in the city, I opened my father's safe. Inside, a ledger. Names. Dates. My mother's, crossed out in red. And a single bullet casing. I loaded the gun. This time, I wouldn't hesitate. The bullet casing was cold between my fingers, heavier than the gun itself. I sat on the floor of my father's study, the safe yawning open like a mouth that had finally confessed. The ledger pages fluttered in the air conditioning. Names, dates, payoffs. My mother's entry stared back. Bailu, March 12, 2015. Accident. 50 M hush. Accident. That's what they'd called the car crash that left me motherless at 8. I loaded the chamber. Click. The sound echoed like the gunshot from my hooked nightmare. Only this time it was real. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Tanzania prefix. Shungin. Don't do it alone. I'm wheels down in 6 hours. I typed back. Too late. I'm ending this tonight. I didn't wait for dawn. The Bai family compound was a fortress, but I'd grown up mapping its blind spots. I slipped past the guards in a hoodie and my stepmother's forgotten heels. Silent on marble. The ancestral hall loomed at the end of the east wing, where father held family meetings that smelled like incense and fear. He was there, alone, kneeling before the altar, murmuring apologies to ghosts. I stepped from the shadows, gun steady. Confess. He didn't flinch, just turned, eyes red-rimmed. Qingmei, you were meant to find that. Meant. I laugh, the sound scraping my throat. You sold me to cover your murder. Zhou Xing'an's sister, did she find this too? His face crumpled. She was collateral. The Zhous needed a scapegoat. Your mother, she knew too much about the merger. The brakes. Stop. My finger tightened on the trigger. You don't get to rewrite her death. Behind me, the door creaked. Stepmother. Green plum. Her silk robe whispered as she raised a trembling hand. Put it down, darling. Think of the family. I spun. The family that killed my mother? That locked me in a marriage to bury its sins. Green Plum's eyes flicked to the ledger. You're hysterical. Give me the gun. I saw it then, the glint of a blade in her sleeve. Same poison green handle she'd used to prune roses. I fired. The shot grazed her shoulder. She screamed, collapsing in a heap of silk and blood. Father lunged. I sidestepped, slamming the guns but into his temple. He went down hard. Alarms wailed. Guards poured in. I ran. The night swallowed me. I ditched the hoodie in a dumpster, heels in a storm drain. By the time I reached the city's edge, my feet were raw, lungs burning. A black SUV idled under a broken street lamp. Shungin leaned against the door, arms crossed. You're early. Shut up and drive. He didn't ask questions, just opened the passenger door, tossed me a burner phone and a duffel. Inside, cash, passports, a new identity, Lu Qing, photographer. As we sped toward the private airstrip, I said, Your sister, tell me everything. He kept his eyes on the road. Her name was Zhouran. 22. She hacked the merger files. Found the payout to your father for accident insurance. The Zhou silenced her. Staged overdose. I was in London. By the time I got back, his knuckles whitened on the wheel. They offer me you. A truce. Marry the enemy's daughter. Keep the secrets buried. I stared at the passing lights. And you agreed. I agreed to play them. Not to lose you. The plane was a 6-seater. Pilot paid in cash and silence. We lifted off as dawn bled across the horizon. Below, police lights swarmed by compound like fireflies. Mid-flight, turbulence hit. The plane bucked. Shungin gripped my hand. If we crash, we won't. I pulled out the ledger, now zipped in a waterproof pouch. This is our parachute. He frowned. You kept it? Evidence, leverage, or kindling, depending on who burns first. We landed in a nowhere town in Yunnan, misclinging to tea hills. A safe house waited. Stone walls, no Wi-Fi, one landline. That night, I couldn't sleep. The ledger haunted me. I crept to the kitchen, found Shungin at the table, laptop glowing. Couldn't wait. I asked. He spun the screen. A live feed. My father in cuffs. Stepmother bandaged and raging. Headline screamed, by Empire heiress missing after shooting. They think I kidnapped you, he said. Let them. I slid into the chair beside him. What's the play? He tapped a key. A new file opened. Bank transfers, shell companies, a joint account in the Caymans. Our fathers laundered through the marriage. The merger was a front. If we expose this, both empires collapse. I traced the numbers. And us. He met my eyes. Free, but hunted. For life. I leaned in, forehead to his. Worth it. 3 days later, the package arrived. No return address. Inside, a USB drive and a single wildebeest tooth. Carved with coordinates. Shungin plugged it in. A video. His sister, alive, gaunt, eyes fierce. Ron recorded, voice distorted. If you're watching, they think I'm dead. I'm not. The ledger's a decoy. The real dirt's in the Zhou vault. Grandfather's war crimes. Buried under the merger. Get it. Burn it. Then find me. Serengeti. Old camp. Come alone. The video cut to static. I looked at Shungin. His face was stone, but his hands shook. She's alive, he whispered. Or it's a trap. He stood. Doesn't matter. We go. We flew commercial this time. Fake names, separate seats. Landed in Arusha at dusk. The Jeep was waiting. Keys under the mat. The drive to the Serengeti was endless. Dust choked the air. Wildebeest thundered across the plains like a living heartbeat. At the old camp, abandoned tents flapping in the wind, we found her, Ron, thinner, scarred, but alive. She hugged Shingen so hard I heard ribs creak, then turned to me. You're the bait they never expected. I handed her the ledger. We're done being bait. She smiled, sharp as a blade. Good, because the vault opens tomorrow, and grandfather's flying in to bless the merger. The plan was suicide. Infiltrate the Zhou ancestral home during the blessing ceremony. Crack the vault. Leak the files to every major outlet, live. We had one shot. The night of the ceremony, I wore a caterer's uniform. Sheng-En, a security badge. Ron, disguised as a journalist. The vault was in the basement, behind a false wall of antique scrolls. Shingen-En's fingerprint got us past the first lock. My birthday code, twisted irony, opened the second. Inside, ledgers older than me. Photos of massacres. Land deeds stolen in 49. And a file marked Project Phoenix. The merger's true purpose, weaponized AI for regime clients. We copied everything. Then the lights died. Guards. Dozens. We ran. Sheng-En took a bullet in the shoulder, dragging me through a service tunnel. Ron lobbed a smoke grenade, covering our escape. We made it to the roof. A helicopter waited. Pilot paid triple. As we lifted off, the Zhou mansion exploded behind us. Not our doing. Ron's insurance. Epilogue. 6 months later. We live off-grid. A cabin in Patagonia. No names. No past. Sheng-En's scar itches when it rains. Ron sends postcard from nowhere. Coordinates to the next fight. The empires fell. Father's imprisoned. Stepmother vanished. Rumor says Green Plum's knife found her first. I still have the wildebeest tooth. Carve inside, Rule 4, we write our own ending. Tonight, Sheng-En cooks while I edit photos. Our new life, framed in light. He kisses my neck. Regrets? I smile, only that I didn't shoot sooner. He laughs. The sound is freedom. But in the dark, I check the locks. Because some secrets don't die. They just wait